Today, we're diving into a profound truth, one that every high-value man must confront. It's about those toxic habits that slowly chip away at respect, not just from others, but from yourself. This is not some trivial issue, it's critical, especially if you're on the path to becoming a man truly worthy of admiration. Now, if you've ever explored Stoic philosophy, you'll recognize names like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, or Epictetus. These great thinkers understood something essential. Respect isn't tied to money, status, or appearances. It's earned by living with virtue, staying true to your values, and cutting out the habits that weaken your character from within. That's exactly what we'll be tackling in today's video, together. These habits may seem small, even harmless at first, but trust me, they silently erode your confidence day by day, until suddenly you find yourself wondering why the respect you once had is slipping away. To become a high-value man, you need to build an unshakable character, one anchored in strong, intentional habits. Before we dive deeper, I'd really appreciate your support. Let's share these powerful Stoic lessons with more people. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. That way, you'll never miss any future videos. And if today's content resonates with you, leave a comment with the number 1. If you feel something could be improved, comment with a 2. Your feedback means everything to me. It helps me improve and bring you even better content in the future. Remember, Stoicism isn't just abstract theory. It's a practical guide for living with greater strength, clarity, and purpose. In today's video, I'll break down the habits that might be holding you back, without you even realizing it. If you're ready to make a change and step into your true potential, stick around until the end. Let's grow together. First, lack of confidence. Confidence is the bedrock of any high-value man. It's not just a skill, it's a way of life. Picture yourself walking into a room, a steady, purposeful stride, head held high, eyes forward. Feel that presence. Trust me, women will instantly sense the energy you radiate, without you having to say a word. But lacking confidence, that's like wearing a giant neon sign that screams, "I don't believe in myself." Nothing destroys respect faster than that. Yet let me be clear, confidence is not arrogance. Real confidence is a quiet strength. It's the kind of grounded power Marcus Aurelius carried as he led the Roman Empire. He didn't need applause or validation. His trust in himself was unshakable. Here's the truth. No one is born confident. Confidence is built, day by day, challenge by challenge. Think back to those moments when you overcame obstacles, reached your goals, or stared fear in the face and pushed through anyway. Those victories, no matter how small, are the bricks that form true self-assurance. Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught that a high-value man draws his strength from within. He's like a sturdy ship navigating stormy seas, anchored by his principles. In contrast, a man who lacks confidence constantly seeks approval from others, friends, colleagues, even women. Over time, this neediness drains his inner power. He becomes a shell of the man he could be. Here's what you must understand. A woman cannot respect a man who doesn't respect himself. Confidence is about embracing what you don't know, being eager to learn, and bouncing back stronger after every setback. That is real power. It can't be faked. It can't be easily shaken. So let me ask you, are you actively building your confidence, or are you allowing self-doubt to quietly consume you? If you want others to respect you, you must start by learning to respect yourself. Second, poor hygiene. Let's be real. Your personal hygiene speaks volumes about how much you respect yourself. A man who neglects his grooming, appearance, or even his scent sends out a loud and clear message, "I don't value myself." And believe me, nothing kills respect faster. On the other hand, A high-value man never overlooks his hygiene. He understands that it's a reflection of his discipline and self-respect. Women in particular pay close attention to this. Why? Because hygiene isn't just about looking clean. It's an indicator of your overall standards. Neglecting basic self-care can turn admiration into disdain in an instant. Think about it. If a man can't even manage the simple act of keeping himself clean, how can anyone trust him to handle bigger responsibilities? But hear me out. Good hygiene is not about vanity. It's about discipline. When you shower, groom, and dress neatly, you're telling the world, I hold myself to higher standards. It's a daily reminder that you value your presence. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, first, know who you are, then act accordingly. A man who values himself shows it, through his actions, through how he presents himself. Women notice these small details because they speak to something deeper, self-respect. You don't need to spend hours primping in front of a mirror. It's not about perfection. It's about taking the time and effort to stay clean, well-groomed, and ready for life's challenges. That's a signal of respect, not just for yourself, but for those around you. And here's the truth. Good hygiene is a discipline. It builds habits that carry over into every area of your life. When you stick to a routine, regular grooming, dressing with care, keeping your living space clean, you strengthen your capacity to tackle bigger goals. Because if you can't commit to the basics, how can you stay consistent with the things that truly matter? Women instinctively respect a man who takes care of his health and appearance. They see it as a sign of inner stability and maturity. The message is simple. If you can't take care of yourself, don't expect others to care about or respect you. So, if you're serious about becoming a high-value man, make self-care a daily habit. Respect your body. Present yourself with dignity. The impact will be undeniable. When you walk into a room, people will notice, and their respect will come naturally. Third, disrespectful behavior. Respect isn't just something you show to others. It's a reflection of who you are at your core. When a man acts disrespectfully, whether through harsh words, condescending actions, or a lack of empathy, he reveals a serious flaw in his character. And trust me, women notice this instantly. A high-value man doesn't engage in disrespectful behavior. He knows that doing so would betray the standards he holds for himself. Respect isn't a tool to manipulate people. It's a core value, a guiding principle. This is why people, women, friends, even strangers, respect him. He treats everyone with genuine kindness and dignity, no matter their background or status. In contrast, a disrespectful man often tries to control others by tearing them down. But let's be real, that's not strength. It's insecurity in disguise. Think of what the Stoic philosopher Seneca taught. A man must first master himself before he can lead others. True strength is rooted in empathy, self-control, and the discipline to treat others with respect. Here's the truth. When you disrespect others, you're actually exposing your own weaknesses. It's a sign that you lack control over your emotions and insecurities. And if you're disrespecting women, you're only putting a spotlight on the unresolved fears you carry inside. This kind of behavior doesn't command respect. It pushes people away. On the flip side, respectful behavior demonstrates real strength. It takes discipline, empathy, and deep self-respect. Respect isn't something reserved for grand gestures. It's shown in the small, everyday moments. If you often catch yourself talking down to others, dismissing their opinions, or needing to win every argument, ask yourself, why am I doing this? Disrespect is often a mask, hiding deeper fears and doubts. A high-value man doesn't run from his flaws. He faces them head-on instead of blaming others. He understands that respect is not a weakness, Showing respect doesn't make you smaller, it elevates you. It's a sign of maturity and inner stability. The most valuable men know how to disagree without insulting, stand their ground without belittling, and listen without dismissing. That is true power, and it's exactly the kind of strength that earns lasting respect. Women especially admire a man who carries himself with this level of composure and dignity. So respect yourself enough to treat others with kindness and empathy. When you do, that same respect will come back to you tenfold. Fourth, neediness and clinginess. A high-value man knows that true strength comes from self-mastery and independence, but neediness, clinginess, those are surefire ways to push people away. When you constantly seek external approval to define yourself, you surrender your power, your self-control, and trust me, women can sense it instantly. The moment they do, their respect for you begins to fade. Neediness is more than just craving attention. It's a sign of deep insecurity and emotional dependence. A high-value man doesn't chase validation. He doesn't beg for attention. Instead, he focuses on developing himself, allowing others to be naturally drawn to his inner strength. Clinginess isn't just about wanting someone's presence, it's about feeling incomplete without it. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught, true happiness comes from within. If you're always looking for others to fill an internal void, you're giving away control over your own peace. And when you cling to someone out of fear of losing them, it only exposes that you lack the strength to feel whole on your own. Here's what you need to understand. Women admire emotional stability and inner strength. The moment you start constantly checking in, seeking reassurance, or demanding validation, you become dependent. And that dependence? It kills respect. A high-value man doesn't place his emotions in the hands of others. He is driven by his own purpose, goals, and principles. This independence makes him magnetic. His confidence comes from within, a trait that's rare in today's world. He doesn't need others to confirm his worth. And in a society full of insecurity and distractions, a man who stands firm in who he is becomes a guiding lighthouse, steady, unwavering, and undeniably attractive. If you want to be respected, first learn to respect your own time, your own space, your own journey. Embrace solitude, build your goals, become the kind of man whose presence is a desirable choice, not a desperate need. But let's be clear, independence is not isolation. It doesn't mean shutting people out. It means becoming whole within yourself, so your relationships enhance your life rather than define it. A high-value man values connection, but he never sacrifices his core values to maintain a relationship. If you constantly need reassurance, it's a sign that you haven't yet developed your inner strength. But when a woman sees that you can be happy, focused, and fulfilled without needing her constant validation, she will respect you on a much deeper level. She'll recognize a man with his own life and his own mission, and she'll naturally want to be a part of that journey. Fifth, lying, dishonesty, and infidelity. A man's word is his honor. It defines who he is. When you lie, deceive, or betray, you don't just destroy others' trust, you shatter your own self-respect. Deception isn't a sign of cleverness, it's a mark of weakness. It exposes a lack of courage, the inability to face the truth head-on. A high-value man never needs to resort to lies. To him, integrity is non-negotiable, and make no mistake, women sense dishonesty fast. The moment they do, their respect for you will disappear quicker than you can imagine. Because when you lie, you show that you're willing to compromise your values, that you lack the backbone to stand in truth. Think of Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor who said, "If it's not right, don't do it. If it's not true, don't say it." He understood that honesty is not optional. It's a reflection of inner strength and wisdom. A high-value man doesn't twist the truth to avoid consequences. Instead, he faces challenges with honor, knowing that sincerity is the foundation of all meaningful relationships. Lying and infidelity don't just break trust, they reveal a lack of self-discipline. They show that you are ruled by impulses rather than by principles. And let's be real, women deeply respect men who can control their desires, take responsibility, and remain steadfast even in difficult situations. When you are dishonest, you send one clear message: you cannot be relied on, that you lack the strength to keep your word. And once trust is broken, it is nearly impossible to repair. Without trust, there is no respect. And infidelity, it doesn't just betray the woman you love, it betrays you. It proves that you're willing to trade your character for momentary pleasure. A high-value man doesn't chase validation through deceit. He honors his commitments, not just to others, but to himself, because he knows that honor is priceless. Be the kind of man who respects himself enough to live in truth. When you stand in integrity, people will trust you, knowing your word is solid. Women will see a man who is unwavering in his principles, one who is strong enough to remain faithful and sincere. Because at the end of the day, respect is built on the courage to live authentically. That is the true strength of a high-value man. Sixth, anger and aggression. Let's address this right now. Anger and aggression, two of the most intense emotions, can destroy respect faster than almost anything else. If left unchecked, they don't just push women away, they make you look weak in the eyes of everyone around you. A high-value man knows that true strength isn't found in outbursts, intimidation, or reckless aggression. It's found in self-mastery, in the ability to stay calm and in control, no matter the situation. Because here's the reality: when you let anger control you, you show a lack of control over yourself. And trust me, women notice this immediately. No woman is attracted to a man who loses his temper, lashes out, or tries to dominate through aggression. That's not power, that's insecurity on full display. Men who can't control their emotions often think their aggression makes them look strong, but in reality, it does the opposite. Anger usually comes from frustration, wounded pride, or fear. But as the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, it is not events that upset us, but our interpretation of those events. In other words, you always have the power to control how you respond. A man of true strength pauses, he reflects, he chooses his response wisely instead of reacting impulsively. And believe me, nothing earns respect faster than a man who keeps his composure while others lose theirs. Because the moment you allow anger to take over, you give away your power. But when you master your emotions, you prove that you are dependable, steady, and in control. Not just of yourself, but of the situation. Women and others around you will respect a man who refuses to be ruled by his emotions, a man who can face pressure, frustration, even disrespect, and still hold his ground with calm confidence. Remember this: true strength is self-control. A real warrior doesn't need to raise his voice or lash out to prove himself. His calm presence says it all. Seventh, constant complaining. We need to talk about this. Complaining is more than just a bad habit. It's a sign of weakness, and if you make it a pattern, it will drain respect from everyone around you, especially women. A high-value man doesn't waste time whining about life's difficulties. He doesn't sit around blaming his circumstances or looking for pity. Instead, he takes action, finds solutions, and pushes forward, no matter the obstacle. Because here's the truth: constant complaining reveals that you feel powerless. It tells the world, I am not in control. And while venting may feel good in the moment, it's highly destructive in the long run. Women and others will lose respect for you if you get caught in a cycle of negativity, instead of stepping up and taking charge. Look at Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic leaders in history. As Emperor of Rome, he faced wars, plagues, conspiracies, personal losses, and yet he did not complain. Instead, he turned every challenge into an opportunity for growth. In Meditations, he wrote, "The obstacle to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Rather than dwelling on hardship, he asked himself, "How can this make me stronger? What can I learn from this?" He didn't let circumstances control him. He focused on what he could control, his response. And this is exactly what separates a high-value man from the rest. Life will always throw difficulties your way. You cannot avoid them, but instead of complaining, you choose. Will you let them break you, or will you use them to build you? Women admire men who are responsible, resilient, and emotionally stable. A man who complains about everything. He's not a leader, he's looking for attention. Complaining is not strength. It's a sign that you've lost control over your emotions, and that's deeply unattractive. Think about it. Imagine leading an empire through war, a devastating pandemic, and personal grief. Most people would crumble under the weight of it all. They'd become bitter, resentful, weak. But Marcus Aurelius, he stayed calm, focused, and grounded. He carried his burdens without excuses, and that is what made him worthy of respect. This mindset earns deep respect, not just from women, but from everyone you meet. A high-value man takes responsibility for his circumstances and finds ways to overcome them. Complaining, on the other hand, is a silent admission of defeat. It's saying, "I can't handle this." But a high-value man, he declares, "I will handle this." That is the mindset that builds strength, self-respect, and unwavering confidence. So stop complaining. Stop wasting energy on negativity. Start taking action. The more you focus on solutions, the more respect you'll naturally earn. Because a man who refuses to break under pressure, who faces life with courage and determination, is a man who will always be valued, admired, and respected. 8th, laziness and lack of ambition. Most men overlook this, but it's one of the greatest destroyers of their value. Laziness and a lack of ambition. A man without ambition is like a ship without a sail, drifting aimlessly through life. He inspires neither admiration nor respect, just indifference. But a high-value man, he is driven. He knows what he wants and works relentlessly to achieve it. Laziness and complacency are like poison to a man's character. If you're not striving for something greater, you're stagnant, and women and everyone else can sense this immediately. A man without ambition isn't just unattractive, he's a man who lacks direction, strength, and inspiration. Look at Alexander the Great. At just 20 years old, he inherited the throne of Macedonia. He could have settled into a comfortable life, but instead he chose a path of relentless ambition. He set out to conquer the world. By the time he was 32, he had expanded his empire from Greece to Egypt and all the way to India. Why? Because he refused to accept mediocrity. He faced massive challenges, rebellions, wars, political betrayal, but he kept moving forward. Because he wasn't just chasing power, he was building a legacy. That is the mindset of a high-value man. He doesn't drift through life. He sets clear goals and works tirelessly to achieve them. And in doing so, he commands respect, not just from women, but from everyone. So ask yourself, what am I striving for? What am I building? Am I moving forward, or am I just existing? If you aren't pushing yourself daily to get closer to your goals, you're wasting your potential. A high-value man lives with purpose. He refuses to settle for mediocrity. And that relentless drive inspires everyone around him. Because here's the harsh reality. Lack of ambition creates a stagnant life. At first, you may feel comfortable in mediocrity, but that comfort will slowly suffocate your growth. And when you stop growing, you start falling behind. And women, they see it, and they reject it. A woman doesn't want a man who's just getting by. She wants a man who's hungry, who pushes boundaries, who challenges himself daily. She wants a man who constantly seeks to improve his life, not someone who simply exists. You don't have to be perfect, but you must always strive for something greater than yourself. Ask yourself, what can I do today to move forward? What can I do today to make my tomorrow better? The most successful men in history, from Alexander the Great to Marcus Aurelius, didn't wait for opportunities to come to them. They took action every single day. Alexander conquered the world in his 20s. Marcus Aurelius faced relentless challenges as emperor, but never allowed himself to become complacent. Women respect men with drive, men who refuse to settle, men who never accept mediocrity. So ask yourself, are you truly striving for something greater, or are you just getting by? Because life doesn't hand out success freely. But when you take action and push forward, you don't just transform your own life. You earn the respect, admiration, and loyalty of everyone around you. 9th, jealousy and possessiveness. Let's dive into one of the most toxic behaviors that can instantly destroy respect: jealousy and possessiveness. These emotions don't come from strength. They come from insecurity and fear. They reveal a lack of trust in yourself, in your partner, and in the world around you. A man consumed by jealousy is a man who cannot control his emotions. He sees life through a scarcity mindset, believing that if he loses something or someone, he'll be left with nothing. But this is not the mindset of a high-value man. Jealousy and possessiveness don't make you look strong. They expose your weakness and lack of confidence. Take a moment to reflect. Do you truly trust yourself? Are you secure enough to not fear losing a woman's attention? Because if your self-worth depends on how others treat you, you are surrendering your power. And once fear takes control, it will consume you. Women do not want a man who is constantly afraid of losing them. That energy is repelling. What they do want is a man who is secure in his own value, a man strong enough to give them space, to let them be themselves without trying to control or possess them. And here's the irony. When you stop clinging, when you trust yourself and let go of fear, you don't weaken the relationship. You strengthen it, because a connection built on trust and freedom is the only kind that lasts. The Stoic philosophers knew this truth well. Epictetus once said, "Freedom is the most worthy goal in life, and we achieve it by not allowing things outside our control to govern us." Think about that. You cannot control others. You cannot control what they think, feel, or do. But you can control yourself. And that is where true power lies. A high-value man does not live in fear of loss. He is not ruled by insecurity. He knows that his worth is not dependent on anyone else. Life is a daily battle within. Every choice you make either builds respect or erodes it. But remember, respect doesn't come from others first. It starts with you. Master your fears, build your confidence, and you'll find that respect will naturally follow. We've uncovered a powerful truth. A man's true value isn't found in external flashiness, but in how he builds himself from within. Confidence isn't something you can fake. It's forged through discipline, resilience, and overcoming challenges. It's a quiet, unshakable strength, one that people, especially women, can feel the moment you walk into a room. But confidence is just one piece of the puzzle. Your appearance, respect for others, and emotional control are just as crucial. A man who neglects his hygiene, his living space, or his self-care sends a clear message. I don't respect myself. Likewise, a man who is disrespectful, easily angered, or emotionally reactive exposes a lack of self-mastery, which instantly diminishes trust and attraction. And then there's clinginess, jealousy, and possessiveness, some of the most destructive behaviors of all. These emotions don't just make you look weak, they scream insecurity. A high-value man doesn't need constant validation. He doesn't grasp for attention or cling to people out of fear. Instead, he remains focused on his goals and mission, creating a magnetic presence that naturally draws others in. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom. The great philosophers understood that self-control is the key to true freedom and strength. The moment you stop complaining, face challenges with calm determination, and focus on action instead of excuses, you set yourself apart from the masses. And that self-mastery, that unwavering discipline, that balance between ambition and meaningful connection is what women truly admire. Because here's the truth: respect and admiration can never be demanded. They must be earned. They come from living in alignment with your core values. They come from being a man who chooses growth over stagnation, integrity over shortcuts, and strength over fear. When you master yourself, when you commit to constant evolution, you become the kind of man who leaves a lasting impression, one that no one can ignore and no one can forget. Every habit we've discussed today is an opportunity, a pivotal moment in your life's journey. The choice is yours. Will you hold on to the habits that weaken you, or will you break free and step into your true potential? Because when you let go of what holds you back, you don't just earn the respect of others, you build something far greater, unshakable inner strength. Ask yourself, are you ready to let go of your old self? Are you prepared to take control, step forward, and own your life with confidence? Becoming a high-value man isn't about chasing comfort or instant gratification. It's about choosing growth over stagnation, self-respect over shortcuts, discipline over excuses. This is the warrior's path. The path of the man who doesn't need to demand respect, because the way he lives commands it. If you're ready to face your weaknesses and eliminate the habits that have been holding you back, drop a comment below. Challenge accepted. And if you're committed to this journey of relentless growth, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another lesson that will push you forward. Warrior, this journey is yours. Step forward with purpose.